At a time when tensions in the Middle East are once again drawing global attention, Iran's leadership has sent a clear and defiant message to the world. Tehran will not bow under pressure. Speaking at a ceremony honoring Iran's Paralympics team, President Masoud Pezeshkian made it unequivocally clear that attempts by global powers to force Iran into submission will not succeed. According to him, powerful countries are deliberately creating crises and applying various forms of pressure with the aim of breaking Iran's resolve. But despite these challenges, Tehran has no intention of compromising its principles or surrendering its sovereignty. His remarks come at a critical moment, as Iran continues to face internal unrest, international scrutiny, and escalating tensions with the United States. The Iranian government has once again placed the blame for recent nationwide protests and the resulting bloodshed on what it describes as terrorist elements, rejecting accusations that state forces are responsible for mass casualties. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated that the government has published a list confirming more than 3,000 deaths linked to the unrest, including around 200 members of Iran's security forces, portraying the situation as a coordinated attempt to destabilize the country from within. However, this official narrative sharply contrasts with claims made by former U.S. President Donald Trump, who alleged that the death toll from the protests could be as high as 32,000, a figure that has sparked widespread debate and controversy on the international stage. In response, the Pezeshkian administration has openly challenged Trump to present credible evidence to support his claim, arguing that such inflated numbers are part of a broader misinformation campaign aimed at justifying external pressure on Iran. As the war of words intensifies, diplomatic tensions between Washington and Tehran appear to be moving beyond rhetoric and into the realm of military preparedness. Reports have emerged confirming the deployment of U.S. military aircraft to the Lagos Air Base in the Azores, Portugal, officially known as Lagos Air Base, a strategic location long used by the United States for transatlantic operations. American officials have indicated that Washington is considering the option of limited military strikes on Iranian targets if the situation escalates further, a statement that has significantly heightened fears of a broader regional conflict. At the same time, the Pentagon has begun relocating hundreds of U.S. troops from the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, a move that local media believe is intended to protect American forces from potential Iranian retaliatory attacks. This repositioning of troops suggests that U.S. military planners are taking Tehran's warning seriously, even as they continue to emphasize readiness for action if deemed necessary. On the other side of the standoff, Iran has made it clear that it is not sitting idle. The commander of Iran's ground forces, Ali Jahanshahi, stated that the country's armed forces are on maximum alert, describing heightened military readiness as the primary deterrent against any hostile operation or miscalculation by adversaries. He stressed that Iran is fully prepared to respond decisively to any threat, reinforcing the message that military action against the country would come at a significant cost. Adding a legal dimension to Tehran's warning, Iran's permanent representative to the United Nations, Amir Saeed Iravani, reminded the international community of Iran's right to self-defense under Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, signaling that any attack on Iranian territory would be met with a response justified under international law. Together, these developments paint a picture of a rapidly evolving crisis in which diplomacy, internal unrest, and military maneuvering are becoming dangerously intertwined. As accusations fly, troop movements accelerate, and warnings grow more severe, the stakes continue to rise, leaving the world watching closely to see whether this confrontation will be contained through dialogue or spiral into a conflict with far-reaching consequences. What happens when pressure turns into defiance and diplomacy edges closer to war? Iran has sent a strong message to the world. Speaking at a national event, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian declared that Tehran will never surrender under pressure, accusing global powers of trying to force Iran to its knees through manufactured crises. As internal unrest continues, the Iranian government has blamed terrorist groups for the deadly nationwide protests, with Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi confirming over 3,000 deaths, including 200 security personnel. This sharply contrasts with claims by former U.S. President Donald Trump, who alleged the death toll could be as high as 32,000, a claim Iran has challenged him to prove. Meanwhile, tensions between United States and Iran are escalating beyond words, as U.S. military aircraft have reportedly been deployed to Portugal's Lagos Air Base, and troops are being relocated from Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base amid fears of retaliation. In response, Iran's ground forces commander Ali Jahanshahi says the military is on maximum alert, ready to counter any attack, while Iran's UN envoy Amir Saeed Iravani has warned that Tehran reserves its right to self-defense under international law. With military preparations underway on both sides, the world is watching closely. Will this standoff end in dialogue or move toward confrontation?